What is up? This is your LA in a minute, and this is a personal episode for me because my dad used to always take me to Pioneer Chicken when I was a kid, and they once ruled the streets of Los Angeles with over 300 locations, and now I'm at one of the last two. Let's go into the history and find out what exactly happened to Pioneer Takeout, aka Pioneer Chicken. When H.R. Rick Kaufman was in his 20s, he worked at the Hollywood Ranch Market on Vine Street. He was in charge of barbecue chicken and learned the ins and outs of the chicken counter. He was fired within 6 months, supposedly for giving free food to his dad, and he vowed to open one day across the street from the place and put Hollywood Ranch Market out of business. He never made it back across the street from Hollywood Ranch, but he did open Pioneer Takeout next to Pioneer Market on the corner of Sunset and Echo Park Boulevard in Echo Park in 1961. The secret to Rick's chicken was a wet batter deep fried until crisp. It was orange with almost a tempura-like coating, and you could hear the crunch from across the room. It was an immediate hit, and Kaufman went to work franchising Pioneer Takeout. Kaufman was well aware that Kentucky Fried Chicken was the Goliath in the fried chicken market, and he knew that his wet batter had an edge, but it wasn't enough to set him apart. What he also noticed was KFC was takeout only, so Pioneer began opening up dining rooms, and they began to edge ahead in the race for Southern California, soon expanding to Northern California with 100 locations by the mid-1970s. In 1977, Pioneer competed in the California State Fair and won medals, further cementing its status as a fried chicken icon. What really turned heads was the gold medal winner that they submitted for their partnership with Orange Bang, a drink that would be carried inside of all their franchises. To help usher in the Orange Bang era, Kaufman introduced the animated chef Pioneer Pete, famous on their logos, as well as the comic book, The Adventures of Pioneer Pete. He even had noteworthy figures shilling for the product in commercials, such as O.J. Simpson and Muhammad Ali. In 1983, 3 Indonesian alumni from USC decided to open a Pioneer Chicken franchise in Jakarta, Indonesia, under the name California Fried Chicken. It became one of the fastest growing companies in all of Indonesia, and it seemed like the sky was the limit for Pioneer. Money was pouring in for Kaufman, and he purchased the entire town of Blue Jay, planning a huge development that was very controversial with residents, and it was the impetus for a rapid downfall for Pioneer. Kaufman closed the doors of dozens of locations from Fresno to Hawaii to Phoenix in an effort to stay profitable. That was the beginning of the end, as the summer of 1987 saw county marshals arriving at all company-owned Pioneer locations and ordered them to empty the registers. Pioneer wasn't paying invoices, and the IRS took steps to collect overdue taxes. After failing to find a buyer, Kaufman filed for Chapter 11, and Popeyes purchased the remaining franchises and converted them into Popeyes. Even the highly successful Indonesian locations are no longer affiliated. So even though Pioneer Chicken is not everywhere like they once used to be, you could still come to Bell Gardens or Boyle Heights and still enjoy the crunch heard around the world.